All right, people, it's rest day. Another day on the natural bulk. I'm taking a rest day today, and I'm actually taking a rest day tomorrow as well because I'm hitting a massive deadlift PR, 6.5 plates, 280 kilo on Wednesday. And when you max out, ideally, and you go for a very heavy max, especially on deadlift or squat, bench not so much, you probably only need one day. But when you're going for a very, very heavy deadlift or squat, it's best to take 2 days of rest before you go for that max attempt in order to make sure you're as fresh as possible. So that's what I'm doing. I trained chest yesterday instead of today, which I normally train chest. And then I normally do back tomorrow, but I'm doing it on Wednesday instead, which is normally a rest day. So I've just switched around a couple of my training days with rest days in order to make sure that I'm as fresh as possible. But it is rest day, which means I'm going to answer 2 or 3 questions, probably a couple of questions from my comment section on the Natural Bulk series. Just going to pick out a couple, try and provide value. The whole point of this channel, I know I like to joke around a lot, and some of my content can be a little bit cocky. But the whole point of this channel is really to provide value and talk about fitness and try and help people. So let's get into the first question from @Tontatane9778. Thoughts on pre-workout and energy drinks? Good question. Thank you for the question, my friend. My thoughts on pre-workout is there's a time and place. There's a time and place. I tend to have pre-workout a lot more on a cut because I need it more. When I'm cutting, you're very low energy, and pre-workout has a lot more of an effect. Caffeine is far more important, I think, when you're cutting. Because you're low on food, pre-workout can actually be very, very helpful when you're cutting. When I'm bulking, not so much. Right now, I'm not taking pre-workout. I'll throw it in occasionally here and there. But right now, I'm not taking it. I don't feel the need to do it because I am having an energy drink a day. I have 1 Monster a day. I don't drink coffee. This gives me about 200 milligrams of caffeine every single day, which is more than enough caffeine. And that's enough. I have 1 energy drink a day, and right now I'm not on pre. I tend to have pre more when I'm cutting, like I said. But one thing I will say is, the more caffeine you intake from pre-workout and energy drinks, the higher your tolerance gets, and the less of an effect it has. So if you're on pre-workout year round, it's going to have less and less of an effect. It's going to start to do nothing, and you're just going to need it to maintain baseline levels. If I was you, I would cycle pre-workout. Have it some months, have it for 3 months, then stop using it for a couple of months. Then have it back, and then have it again. And then stop using it for a few months, then have it again. If you're using it year round, it really does lose effect. So cycle your pre-workout for a couple of months on and off. That for me is the best way to do it. Thank you for the question, my friend. Next question from @Cbon8989. What do you think about the studies that say 1.6 grams of protein per kg is enough to gain muscle? Nice work, buddy. Yeah, I think that's around about accurate. 1.6 grams, 1.6 to 1.8 grams. That's about, I think, 1 gram per pound is what I try to aim for. So if you weigh about 200 pounds, try and get in 200 grams of protein. Try and get 1 gram per pound is normally where I aim for. I think 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kg is about the same as that, about the same as that. So try and aim for that, 1 gram per pound of body weight. You can't go too wrong with that. I would aim for that if I was you. Protein is incredibly important to maintain muscle mass. If you're really trying to maximize muscle tissue, I think sometimes it can be a little bit better to overshoot it slightly. I tend to go around 250 a day. I weigh around 225. And I tend to go around 250, so I do a little bit over that because I am trying to build more muscle, and I do like to have just a little bit more protein. If you're really trying to maximize muscle mass, having a tiny bit more than 1 gram per pound of body weight is probably ideal. But yeah, I think if you're hitting around 1 gram per pound of body weight, you're pretty on the money. And most of science tends to agree with that. That's more than enough, more than sufficient levels of protein required to build muscle. So if you're aiming for that, you should be all right, my friend. But thank you for the question. Thank you very much. And that's it, guys. I'm just going to answer 2 questions today, nothing more, just a quick one on a rest day. If you've got any questions for me tomorrow, because tomorrow is another rest day, just put them in the comment section of this video. I'll try and answer 2 or 3. Thank you very much for watching. Nick Kajazi, the founder of the Mendez Cartel, the Natty King, the last true Natty Crusader, the heir to O'Hearn's Natty throne. Subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and as always, Nick Kajazi, the founder of the Mendez Cartel, signing off. Long live King Charles III, and God bless Sir Winston Churchill.